and after a successful deck project, we got to leave Annapolis and start our journey southward.
The follies are working really well, but you don't really protect your face, and we don't have a balaclava, so I did the next best thing. Wind protection. Very much needed in 60-degree weather and 15-knot winds. Whew.
With our friend joining us for the next 3 days, we celebrated her birthday by finding the most gorgeous anchorages in Solomons and Indian Creek, as well as witnessing the most beautiful sunsets over the water, before we pulled into the docks at Hampton, Virginia. It has been about 7 days that we have waited for this weather window for crossing Hatteras, and if anyone feels that they've over-prepared for Hatteras, then they've maybe just prepared enough. We have been looking at weather charts, we have been listening to Chris Parker, we have been doing our research and doing our homework and reading weather charts and wave charts, wave height and wave intensity and wave frequency and the wind, other storms that are out there, low fronts, high fronts, and I feel like we've done a much better job than we've done in the past when it comes to picking our weather window, and we feel like that's today, and it's in about 2 hours or so, so we are just finishing up buttoning everything down, and we are basically ready to go. We've made all the food we want for the passage. We filled up on water, electricity, batteries are topped off 100%, and really excited, but I think we have to pull the trigger, and we do the graveyard of the Atlantic today, so very excited.
So this is Cape Hatteras, this little area right over here. But what we're really dealing with is really the fact that we are up here near Norfolk, and we need to make our way all the way down past Hatteras, down here to Cape Lookout, and potentially over here to Beaufort. But really this is the only real safe spot to drop off. There's some inlets, but they're not really meant for our size boat to go into. So the trip we need to do is from here all the way down the coast, past some shoals that are over here, so actually means we need to go out to the sea a little bit, and then down here to Cape Lookout or to Beaufort. So this map is a wind map of the area, and you can see it's green and blue and looks very soothing, which is very different than how it looked yesterday and over the weekend when it was very red and very angry. So our plan is to leave today, actually very shortly. So right now this is showing what it would look like if we left at 2 p.m. So I'm going to go forward in time a little bit, and you can see that around 6 p.m. we'd be heading down the coast. We'd be somewhere around here, and that's when we would have this kind of southwesterly wind that we might be able to get go into and use that to push ourselves down. As the night progressed, we would get down to around 9 p.m., maybe somewhere around here, still have that same kind of wind. And then through the night, well, it would continue, the wind would continue to build in the southwest, and that would bring us to tomorrow morning. Around then, we would hopefully be somewhere maybe around here, close to starting to approach Hatteras. Somewhere tomorrow, let's say during the day, the wind would continue to build, but then it would kind of basically by the end of the day start switching to come from the north. That basically would push us, hopefully, through Hatteras. Then as the day progressed, the wind would switch again to go behind us and push us down the point after Hatteras, and then kind of go westward. And as long as we made it, so right now we're looking at Thursday morning, as long as we made it into our destination before all the south wind starts building up and this big red area starts filling in, once this happens, then yeah, it's going to be very uncomfortable. So our goal is to use this window where things are relatively calm, use the wind kind of growing and changing direction as the way to get around there. And we've been spending the last few days is really trying to understand the weather system so that we can understand, okay, what are all these factors? How can we time this so that we can make it correctly? The other real big thing here is the waves. So a big storm just blew through this weekend. So this is the wave map. So basically right now we are here in Hampton. The waves are basically non-existent in this purple area. And then right as we exit the Chesapeake and get onto the ocean, the waves right now are about 4 feet near the coast and coming every 9 seconds. And so that's the important thing, that not just how tall the waves are, but how often they come. Because even if they're short waves that are coming very quickly, that's a problem and makes it very uncomfortable. But at 4 feet every 9 seconds, that seems more than fine for us. So again, now we're looking at the wave map. So as time progresses and we make our way down the coast, we continue to stay within 3 to 4 feet as long as we stay close to the coast. And so we should be rounding Hatteras when the waves are still something like between 3 to 5 feet, depending on which one of these prediction models are correct. And so we should be looking at something like 3 to 5 feet waves at a 9 to 10 second interval the entire way there, which seems pretty comfortable. Not, obviously not completely calm, but on the ocean, that's definitely not bad. So we haven't done this level of tracking and trying to predict things in the past. This is our first time really going out there, so we'll let you know if really I guess the models hold up and our understanding of them is correct.
And soon we were ready to cast off the docks, which we had enjoyed for one full week. And first, go to the fuel dock and fill her all the way up.
So the problem we have is that our vent is not working in our fuel tank, so we need to use this to slow it down and not introduce air. So the faster we get that fixed, the better chance the faster we can fill up.
This is also a funnel that has it's also has a filter. So, and it's not much of an issue here in the US, but overseas sometimes you can get diesel that has crumbs in it, let's just say. And so this just filters the bigger particles out, which is nice.
We just left the fuel dock. We are heading out into the main Norfolk Channel and then towards the ocean. Making about 4 knots with our engine turned up to its old level. Once we get through this little channel, we will turn it up to the new level and see how it goes. We finally fixed our throttle, so we're gonna see if that's a significant difference when we're able to go to 2400 RPM instead of just 2000.
All right, it's the beginning of our first night shift. It's the only night shift we have to do, thankfully, if everything goes well. We should be getting to our final destination around 10:30, midnight, roughly. But tonight, it is a beautiful, calm night. Too calm because the motor's on, but we should be rounding Cape Henry in about 30 minutes, and we should be able to put our sails up and maybe do a little bit of night sailing. It's hard to catch it at night, but we'll try to capture a little bit of it and take you on this crazy journey. We should be rounding Hatteras sometime tomorrow, so that should be really exciting.
It's about 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. You can see I'm inside and it's the sun is well down at this point. Spandana is going to take the first night shift. I'm going to try to fall asleep. So far we've had wind basically on our nose the entire way, which has made it very challenging unfortunately to keep the sails up. But the motor has been running very well. We're making usually above 7 knots, but now we're making around 6. But that should still keep us well on schedule. So I want to go take a little rest right now, and I'll get up in a couple of hours.
And there is the break of dawn, and it has been a pretty nice ride, actually. The wind didn't shift to our beam like we'd hoped, and we didn't get to sail, but that's okay. It's still a nice, calm motoring night. and we both got plenty of sleep on our shifts. And we are starting to get close to Hatteras Island, which means that we should be rounding Hatteras in about 4 to 5 hours. And then the scary part's all done. And then we make our way to Beaufort. Oh, what a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. We are about 15 minutes from rounding Hatteras, and things are not that bad. The sea state's not that bad, except when the bow takes a little dip into the ocean for just a split second, and my hair looks like Sideshow Bob a little bit. But so far, so good, and we're making good time. It's about 1 p.m., which is a little later than we should be here, but we should be rounding Hatteras soon and then heading out to Beaufort. So yeah, first Hatteras experience, not terrible, not terrible. Could be a little better. It'd be cool if we could have sailed this. A little less bouncing, but I think this is the best we could have hoped for. It is another beautiful sunset over the ocean, which is always nice, but I think after Hatteras, I think we had thought that that was it. That was the hard part. We're all done, which it was. I do not discount Hatteras at all, but actually it was after we turned from Hatteras towards Beaufort, North Carolina, which is our final stop, that things got rougher somehow. We've been beating into the wind for quite a bit. Actually, our speed dropped all the way down to something like 2.8 knots at one point. The boat is still sort of huffing up and down, and usually we actually put our sails up in order to balance ourselves a little bit, but the wind is right into our face, into our nose, so we can't do that because our sails will luff. So we are trying just to make it there as peacefully as we can. I tried to go to sleep for a few hours. It didn't really work out. Dave is taking first night watch, so he went down and is trying to get a few hours of sleep before he comes up for the night shift. We should be getting into our anchorage around 7 a.m. Our anchorage is about 2 or 3 hours outside of Beaufort, actually. It's supposed to be a very beautiful place to be. We will decide when we get there if we're too tired and we just want to anchor there, or if we want to go all the way into the city. It's also that the city might be quite crowded, but so could the anchorage, so you never know. So we might be, at the end of all of this, we might just be trying to find a parking spot, which is, there's a big storm system, so everybody's kind of stuck at the same places, and so everyone's going to get to the next place all together, and it's whoever gets there first. But as I understand it, there are plenty of places in Beaufort, around Beaufort, to anchor, so I'm not really worried about it. It's just a matter of what our energy levels are and getting through tonight. And this will be the very first time we do 2 nights passage, and because of the 39 hours, and because we didn't get a chance to really leave very early yesterday, we left early evening, really, because the weather window didn't open till then. If we had left maybe super duper duper early, we could have made this all in one shot, only having to do one night, but that didn't quite work out. So I see it as a training exercise. I see every one of these as a training exercise for the Atlantic crossing we'll do one day, for the Pacific crossing we'll do one day, and this is just something that you have to build for, and to learn to sleep when the boat is rocking the way it is right now. It's a little crazy, but we made it through the first night, and I think we'll make it through the second night. Okay, but let's see. No one's thrown up yet, so yay! And I think we have so much food. I just had ice cream, and I'm like freezing cold, and I'm like, I want ice cream. And that is a wonderful thing about having a freezer, is even if you're freezing, ice cream just feels so good to start, the late evening shift. Yeah, let's see how the evening goes.
So after a long, nearly 36-hour journey, we're finally pulling into Beaufort. The sun's just coming up to give us enough light to see the buoys. And just ahead, we can see our marks and the fishermen starting to come out for the day. We're both very tired and looking forward to being anchored so we can get some more sleep. That's it. We are in Beaufort. We, after 36 hours of sailing, had to get the anchor down. So it's different here because the docks are right there. The shore is right over there on the other side of it. So you have to just find a spot right outside the channel. And everybody's really close together here. So it just took us a while to figure out what looked good and feel comfortable about it. So we're settled in here. We're going to explore the town of Beaufort and then just relax for the next couple of days. And this is a big part of our journey is now complete. We can rest easy putting Hatteras behind us and look forward to what's coming next.